It is 2025 and tech has gotten insane, and our use cases of cameras have gotten more and more intense, especially needing to shoot photos and videos at night or in dimly lit environments. The camera system of the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra is amazing, especially when it comes to low light conditions, which can of course be great for a bunch of different people. For me, I do go to a lot of events, whether that is concerts or Comic Con for example, and having a camera that can work in those darker environments is amazing and a massive help for me. But then you also have generally taking photos and videos when you're out with friends or on vacation in a new city, and having the ability to capture memories regardless of the time of day is something that I really like about the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra. So over the last couple of years, for myself at least, I've enjoyed exploring the cities that I'm in at later times in the day by just enjoying dinner with friends or family, but then also just going to explore and see new places. But then capturing those memories haven't always been the easiest in the past. Now I just got back from traveling to Abu Dhabi for MEFCC or Comic Con, and I was able to put the camera to the test out on the streets at night, but also in the venue to really show you how powerful this camera really can be. Now, just a little disclaimer, the camera does do a lot of work on the back end to really enhance the light of the different objects. So in all of the videos, it does look extremely bright, or at least to a point where it looks brightly lit out or in the venue, but it was actually really dark, and I will try to do comparisons of how it looked versus the actual footage. So for the first situation, which I think will be the most applicable, is a night out on the town. So for me, I tested it out in a few different situations, with the first being just purely taking videos of buildings. Now this is of course a really common scenario with travelers, as you would love to show everybody back home how this place actually looked. So maybe showing them sort of interesting architecture, or just purely for yourself to keep as a reminder of how the place looked. This is sort of for me the first scenario. So for this, I went out and took videos on the streets of different buildings and alleyways, and even though the footage does look really bright, once again, this is more like what it actually looked like in person, just as a comparison. This is of course a big difference. It does brighten everything up, but it doesn't necessarily reduce the quality or blow out the highlights as some cameras might do. You see, instead of just brightening up the entire scene, Samsung scans the entire scene and brightens different objects by different amounts to really give you a more balanced brightness overall, instead of just pushing everything up and everything down to sort of get a more blown out or very sort of dark image. I also took this video of myself walking in a more shaded, sort of darker area to see how it will perform in a scenario like that, where you might be vlogging or even just live streaming when the lighting conditions aren't perfect, especially on yourself as the subject. I even did that video using the front camera to really put it to the test, and even the front camera performed really well. Now it isn't as high quality as the back cameras I switched to later on in that video, but it does a really good job. But yes, if you wanted the best quality possible, I would highly suggest using the back cameras instead of the front one. Now for me, in both of these scenarios, the camera performed really well. It makes a more balanced scene, especially by brightening the darker areas, but it does all of this while keeping the highlights from being overexposed. In my opinion, this would be a great option for people looking for a small camera system to vlog with while out in town at night, to film their travel videos with, as you can easily take videos of the city you're in, and it can work for the standard person as well, making video calls or just filming for their family or friends. The next situation for people like myself that like shooting content at events, regardless if you are a content creator or just looking to film for the vibe. I tested the camera out both in the standard lighting, which wasn't too bad, but then also filmed the one night just before they closed down, when they'd already turned off most of the lights, to really test it out in sort of less favorable conditions. Now this is a situation where I film in a lot, and this can be filming the entire event or filming details of smaller items being showcased at the event, and sometimes even filming yourself. And I try testing out all of those situations to really see how it performs in situations like those for both content creators and sort of the general person, once again just wanting to show off to their family or friends. Once again, in this example, it performed really well by lighting up the venue enough that you can see everything around you, but it once again kept the highlights to a level where you can still see details on the screen on the esports stage, as well as in the lights that are at the event itself. For me, once again, it performed well enough that you can use your S25 Ultra to film at these events for content for yourself, whether you are shooting with the ultra-wide lens to capture sort of the entire space, or whether you are shooting with the telephoto lens to capture all of the details. It can really do all of those, and it does it extremely well. And then lastly, you can also film in log mode, which is especially helpful in the daytime, but then also at night, as you have a big difference in contrast between the lights and then of course the dark parts. So what log footage does is it captures video footage with a wide dynamic range, preserving details in both the highlights and the shadows, making it easier to get the footage to be more balanced at the end. Plus it gives you more freedom in post to really get the look and feel that you really wanted out of your videos. And then of course, nightography also extends to photos as well, where you can of course capture photos in darker environments as well that look amazing, whether that is with the standard mode or in pro photo mode with raw photos. For me, the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra is a camera powerhouse, with it being powerful enough to shoot video in both brightly lit environments as well as darker areas and sort of everything in between. It is good enough to shoot content with, still easy enough to use even for people just looking to shoot memories for themselves or their families. And really, if you're either one of those on the spectrum, this will be a good addition for you. But that is it for nightography on the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra. What do you think of this feature, and is this a feature that you will use? Let me know down in the comments, and then until next time, cheers.